And overall, this kind of draft, you need a front line because the Marcel is more of a support than a tank.
Okay.
Right? You still need a front line.
Pro esports just need their mid laner. I think there are just a multitude of options out there. The Lilia still there. If they
Lilia sounds great.
Lilia sounds great in this lineup.
Even Valir is going to be super annoying.
Yeah. Previously they used Vexana. I don't know if they want to go for that again.
Vexana ban.
Oh.
So yeah, I feel like Lilia and Valir are two very good anti-tank options that you can go for. Honestly, I'm good for either. If they want to increase another unique hero, they could pick up an Aurora.
Oh.
I like me an Aurora.
Has not been seen for years at this point, but they pick up the Zetian instead. So
unique.
They want some scaling when it comes to the late game in case the Fanny doesn't work out.
Guys, in terms of execution, who do you think leans towards it being a simpler job to get it done?
I don't know if I'm just more used to seeing the Fred and the Gord and how simple the lineup of YG is, but I feel like definitely mechanics-wise, it's also the easier to pull off lineup compared to Pro Esports lineup right now.
I agree. It's just that I would say Pro Esports, they're scaling. Maybe they're able to outscale, but that one is more of a matchup in the gold lane.
Well, after the last 3 international tournaments for Cambodia, they've got a new representative who's looking to finally make it into the knockout stages. But will it be Yangon Galacticos from Myanmar, who shut down their dreams and maybe have a little bit of a story to tell for themselves? We'll find out as we begin game 1 of our second series of the day. It's all upper bracket for the next 2. Let's send it over to your casters, Naisu and Mirko.
Thank you so much for the breakdown and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's our second match of the day here. This one, not an elimination match. It's to find out who's going to move forward to get to that knockout stage. Will it be Yangon Galacticos or Pro Esports? Both teams, Mirko, have been looking darn good. These drafts, though, a little bit of a throwback. I feel like now that we've been through so much versatility and flexibility in the draft, this looks a little more standard.
It does. It looks a little bit more of what we are accustomed to, right?
Yep.
I do think it's kind of weird, though. I mean, the panel already pointed out, but the fact that Pro picked up the Phobia, still, though, banning out the Arlet. And YG really seems like they're going back to comfort, something that they used to win MSL Myanmar. Back again, it's Han on the Fredrin.
Fredrin in the jungle is just a very different change of pace, you know, from what we've seen so far. A lot of assassins duking it out, but now you get a Fredrin, which, you know, makes sense with the lineup because you can play around that durability that this gives you. You know, if you take a look at the emblem setup too, you're playing with a lot of speed with the Marcel, obviously being that kind of annoying support slash roam that he is.
Coily, goes in now, the cables as well, shreds him down. Han will fall first blood over to Coily.
Whoa! I guess is that a statement of, hey, you're gonna pick a Fredrin, well, I'm on a Fanny. This is the assassin meta. Is that where we're going right now?
I guess. Coily straight into the orange buff set up by P. But dang, I didn't expect that damage, bro.
Yeah.
Straight up, walks up, well, flies through, and gets, even though Han was able to secure level 4, he wasn't able to tank up that damage. Now trying to steal this away from Coily. At least he gets a bit of compensation.
Okay, yeah, you know what, at least something. Turtle's up though. Both junglers have those retributions ready. They'll get in position for this one, but Yangon Galacticos is gonna go ahead and get that space to work with. There they go.
Mystic Gush gonna tear PP down with Han. Locking him down, Coily forcing to flicker out. Now Han's gonna get caught by the Phobius of Felix. It's everybody disengaging. Ying still holding this angle. Back to level on the board.
All right, so a bit of a trade. No one gonna get the turtle just yet. Jungler is gonna grab their buffs for this one. We'll take a look at the replay by STC. Great setup here, you know, to go ahead and capitalize that Mystic Gush, utilizing the Fredrin kit, but you get a lockdown, and you can see how dangerous it is for Han, though, because if he's, you know, in this vicinity of the rest of the team fight, he's actually shredded down quite quickly. It's just not tanky enough just yet.
We gotta take a look at the items right now. We're talking about how Han can actually like deal with Pro, right? He's on the way to the Dreadnought armor. I feel like he should have just rushed that straight up. He went for the Ares belt first, a bit more HP, trying to play around with the passive and then Praetor's Wrath. Let's see if it works out.
Felix on the turtle.
Yep, just walking out. This should be free.
Yep.
No purple buff on the hands of Coily. A straight up red tree now is Sa. Has to flicker out. Good taunt though. Brings Felix in for the shoulder bash. The Dark Wave lands and then Praetor's Wrath is right there, but Felix is able to sustain for a bit as Coily jumps into the back again with the cables. Tears through Kaiser. He gets another with the cutthroat. Big double for Coily. Han isolated, and it will be fed over to Kuzen.
It looked like it would have been okay for YG on the way they went through that. Oh, sorry, Felix. Ying? Okay, he doesn't have enough damage, but yeah, the idea was there, but you always have to remember when you're up against a Fanny that being caught in those choke points around the walls, around the jungle, is not where you want to be. And, you know, just after getting that objective, that turtle, then all falls apart here. This was going so well, but then look at the back line. Coily has all the room to work with, just lines them up and is able to go ahead and swing in, pop that damage out while everybody else gets cut off from each other. So that's really good game sense coming through from Pro Esports and the rest of the team.
Also a bit of a whiff from Blink. That golden hour was supposed to keep Kaiser from getting initiated on, but it only found Kaiser. Gave Coily the opportunity to just wait, go for those cables, and find the double.
Yep.
This is the reason we don't see too many gourds, too many Yees now in this meta, right? It's just, if you don't have Flicker, you're dead.
They had their moment, you know, and that, I guess that's one of the things as we've gone through the days here for MSC is that development of the meta. And yes, some heroes that just feels like just weeks ago were doing so well are obviously struggling in a sense, but this is something that I would say Yangon and Galacticos, if they get to, let's say, a late game and you get a little more durability to work with, if you're able to go ahead and play around the golden hour from Blink, then, you know, that's one of the cases. Plus the Moskov, still a power pick in that gold lane, able to move through. You do have generally a safer laning phase to deal with that Fanny, you know, from Coily approaching. But that's the thing. It's more so of Yangon and Galacticos really trying to hold on. You can see Brute Force Breastplate now picked up for Han. That's going to help him a little bit to deal with that kind of burst physical damage that's coming through. Second turtle up, though, as YG gets space to go ahead and work around this. Coily in the base can go ahead and swing in here anytime he's ready, but it's just a stare-off for now between both, fighting for this space.
One thing you got to take into account if you're pro is Sanji in the bottom lane here on the Moskov. He's chosen the Bargain Hunter for a reason. He knows his job this game is just to farm out. No pressure here. Han's gonna be able to take this for free with the Retribution. It's gonna be the Mystic Gush now on P, but he's able to flick around now as Kozen gets caught by a ton of big bonk as well. Great Fury of the Phoenix in the bottom lanes, a 1v1, and it will be Coily to pick up the mega kill to stop Sanji from scaling on the Moskov.
You got to give it to Coily and the rest of Pro Esports. They know that, okay, objective, Turtle's going to go over to YG. We might as well find something else. It looks like he's going to be able to get the turret down nearly. Yeah, should go down here. They trade out a kill and a turret. As we look at the replay, once again, this was a really good decision from Coily. Again, he has all the room to work with, even pushed back by the Spear of Misery. It doesn't really matter. He's able to go ahead and find the kill.
I was looking up top, the taunt landed on Kuzen, then we saw the Fury of the Phoenix. So in our eyes, it was like, oh man, Saab popped that a bit late to save Kuzen. Turns out it was a call from Coily probably down below to go for that kill on Sanji. That's why the Fury of the Phoenix was tying for the pickoff on Sanji rather than to save Kuzen up top. Blink though. Golden Hour, the SOD lands as well. PP gonna be able to actually walk away from the Appraiser's Wrath now as that's a shoulder back from Felix. A flicker out, away from the Mystic Gush. Coily with a jump in the cables. Pro, great disengage.
Yeah, good use there. Again, to keep him at bay. Coily had an angle to go for, gets stopped in his tracks. Golden Staff here picked up by Sanjit as they continue up the top.
Here the Phoenix appeal for Kuzen as he gets away with BMI, and Felix fights to pick up a Ying. Dives on the turret, picks up the kill on Kuzen. Now he's taken very low, still able to sustain. Again, the missing projectile saves him, but Coily walks up, finds the unstoppable now with the cables onto Blink. It's Han with the flank on top. It's a big bonk, and that's going to be 2 for Han. Coily, though, wants another. A triple responded over for a double. Kaiser with a missing projectile and the gush onto P.
What a bloodbath from that top lane. Both teams able to get multiple kills as we take a look at the replay brought to us by STC. Again, Fury of the Phoenix is great. And look at both junglers. They have their moments here. Han cleared out that mid lane. He makes his way up to the top. He sees multiple health bars low up on this tier 1. He sees his moment because he knows Coily's having his own. So might as well go in for this. Gets that double, but essentially will go down. And also really good response from Kaiser to come back and get P down with that Mystic Gush. So this trades across the board, which will all ultimately lead up to setting up for this first Lord here now that it's up. So this is, again, just a fight to see who has that better team fight. And you've got one jungler on the side of YG who's pretty stationary, you know, more of this bulwark front line, while Coily is everywhere. He's 7-0-1 right now. And pretty much if he finds one of the backlines of YG, it's almost an instant guaranteed kill for him. So they have to play around with that in mind. A little bit of focus here, knocking down some of the tier 1 turrets up top. Coily.
Dude, against a Moskov, usually you'd see Fannies hesitate a bit, you know, like kind of think twice about going in. Coily against a Marcel and a Moskov walks up like that, or again, flies
around like that. Again, it's different in the hands of junglers like Coily. Again, he makes his way through this team fight.
Coily! Oh my god, the lethal ignition! What a god on the Fanny! Coily again with the cables. No fear in his eyes.
Oh man, fighting for this Lord. As I said, goes to the back line, he's able to get a kill. Now with the numbers advantage.
Felix the walk up again, the slam the pass back from P. That's a mount already. That means the Lord is going to be free again. Han
he's so
trying
low.
desperately to get through. Coily's taking a bit of damage now. Goes for the cutthroat as well. Blink with the golden hour. Oh, he saves the game. Han walks up. Goes for the red tree, but it doesn't land. It was still the golden hour. The red tree went over to the member of Pro. Goes with the pickup on the Lord. Now it's a big taunt on the Felix and slams on the pass comes through, but Felix gets around with Inferno Pursuit. Almost takes Blink down with him.
Woo, that would have been way worse if Pro Esports did not get that Lord. Kozin was able to go ahead and secure it, I believe, just in that midst of that fight because Coily went down. That's also a big shutdown, though, taking out Coily like that. So for now, Yangon Galacticos, they found a little bit of momentum to work with. They should clear out this Lord relatively easy. And now some of that gold starting to build up, starting to go in their favor. Sanji's got the items mainly that he needs at this point, and the rest of the team is starting to get tanky enough to deal with it. It's more about the execution part, the micro part when it comes to these team fights. The biggest threat here, too, is Kaise on that gourd against Coily. If he's taken out and he doesn't have a flicker and he doesn't, have that whatever defensive item he decides to go with, that's just unfortunate because your whole game plan is I'm gonna get a stun off, Mystic Gush real quick, get some people low, and build off of that. But he knows he's gonna be a target, and so now for YG they have to adjust these team fights.
And it's just so sad to see the golden hour now 2 times. First time was okay, that was just unlucky by Blink. Second time, miscoordinated by Han and Blink. Right, the golden hour was there, it delayed the Lord. Coily was already dead, but Han went for the red tree. Because the Lord was still in golden hour, the red tree went to one of the Pro members, and that's why Kozin was able to steal it away.
Yeah, once again, Marcel, that golden hour is so valuable, but at the same time, sometimes it can backfire in a way that you don't expect. Now it's pretty much even across the board, except for the fact that you got a couple extra turrets for Pro Esports off that Lord take, off that Lord push. Helps open the map a little bit for them, but they still have plenty of time to go ahead and find something here. You've got some pressure on this purple buff.
Uh-oh, they're gonna all in on P. Flicker out of the Appraiser's Wrath and a Mystic Gush already. That's gonna be Coily with the damage. Oh, the mount as well. Big Fury of the Phoenix. Onto a choke point. Han with a taunt. Onto 2. Ying still trying to buy some time as Han pops P.
Okay, they fight back again. It's been trades all game long for the past 12 minutes here. And you're seeing it too. Now because of these items falling into place for Yangon Galacticos, you can't find whoever you want, aside from the Gourd, Kaise, for Coily to go ahead and get, because just again, you have enough durability at this point, and you have to start to rely on your both gold laners to turn the tides of these team fights. But you'll see it here. This is a team fight comes through. P surviving this is also crazy. Good use of the defensive flicker, staying alive, and then he mounts up and brings back into that Fury of the Phoenix blink. So really good timing there, but Han also gets his revenge. Again, he had a tough start to the game on this Fredrin, but so far he's really found footing.
And the gold lead is non-existent for YG versus Pro. We should have expected this coming into this matchup. YG with a dominant game against GK to make it here. Pro with a crazy upset victory over Selangor Red Giants. Both trying to fight for that qualification to knockout stage. Han holding on a neutral objective, jumps on P. No flicker, Mystic Gush, and the Appraiser's Wrath to take him down. Now Felix gonna get caught by the taunt as well. Sanji clearing out mid. Kozin doing the same thing, but the wave up top is good for Pro.
Oh, they're gonna fight for this Lord here. It's at half health. They know they're down P. They're gonna just blitz this Lord though for YG.
Han's trying, the golden hour's placed down. Oh, Felix! With a steal on the Phobius! With the help of the Fury of the Phoenix, how did that just happen?
Was that just a dark wave?
No way, we gotta get a replay on that. What?
We have to see it. Again, that Fury of the Phoenix really helping. They're trying to hold on to this mid turret, but man, another Lord.
Uh-oh. I thought he was going to pay for his sins, but no. Flicker. Get out of jail free card. Coily.
Oh, he's here.
He gets caught in a frozen moment. Oh my god, with a crowd. Perfectly timed by Kaiser. A bait away. Coily wants part 2 with the cables. This time trying to bait out a battle spell.
That's actually pretty big, though. The Winter Crown being down at least is something as they approach the base. That's what they want to play off of this Lord here now that everyone's going to be up. But again, at least for the Gord, at least for Kaiser, he still has Flicker. He can just kind of post up in the base, help clear things out. The fight for these buffs, though, man, P taking a ton of damage, too. Goes in, trying to take down a tier 2 turret. Lord makes its way up top now. Oh, Coily going to be stopped here. Clearing out the Lord. This might be all they get. They do get some damage done to that top base turret, but still, YG's base defense and their composition will clear things out relatively quick. So, I mean, based how things have gone for the last couple Lords here, it's got to be the retribution for the next one, man. It's going to be so important for either team to go ahead and secure that, to get this momentum as we look at the items coming into place. There's even a big difference gold-wise between the XP laners, but Sarion Felix is actually doing a really good job of just kind of being that front line that he needs to be on the Phoveus.
This is why even after those nerfs, the Phoveus still finds itself at a pretty good spot in the draft, right? Still prioed, banned in the first phase, especially with the Assassins coming back into meta. Felix, though, he's had a tremendous game on the Phoveus so far. That Phoveus steal, it shouldn't even be possible. Again, I would have loved to see the instant replay there. How did he get his hands on it? Because it doesn't really look like Coily was in a position to steal. Han had a free retry, it almost looked like.
Yeah, again, at this point, that retribution battle needs to come down between the two junglers here for this next one. But both teams have been showing that they will go for pickoffs if they can. It's a bit of a tough game, I'd say, for YG too, just because you got to keep tabs on Coily. Where's he pushing? Where is he going? As you look at the difference here between the XP laners, what they've been able to go ahead and secure, of course, for each other. But Ying can essentially do the same thing. We saw that in the earlier team fights, you know, being that front line for them. He can help kind of give that vision too. Phoveus, though.
Whoa.
Oh, hold on.
Trying to cut him. Nice try.
Yeah, he's able to get away just fine. Again, you got to keep tabs on Coily. Any Fanny like this is going to play that move, but YG has the same option with Sanji.
That's the thing. There's still so many ways they can play this. Again, YG, it's not like they're going to lose out on that far lane. They have a Moskov and a Uranus to play on those far lanes to match the Fanny. Heck, I think they might even be able to clear it out. Oh, wait, Kozen can't be standing behind those minions like that, man. The piercing damage of Sanji starting to hurt.
Yeah, it does. Mystic Gush already dropped down too.
Wait.
Okay, that's some key ultimates down for YG. Did Pro Esports just get the upper hand for this Lord take? They're going to make their way. Coily already got his buff. They're going to try to zone out the rest of YG.
He already pushed in the bottom lane. So now it relies on Sanji to land at SOD. PP in the back, trying to zone him away. Coily with retribution again as PP was able to zone him away as the golden hour comes through, but the SOD landed. There's no way he takes it with 4 members corralling over that landed SOD. Han mounted on, now brought back to the team. He's still able to escape for a bit, but the pass is right there again. A big bomb lands onto Coily, baits out the rose gold. Pro should just be happy with the Lord. Blink wants a bit more. Ying now walks up Kozen, trying to punish Flicker out from Ying.
Okay, this is just has to be a disengage. They got the Lord to deal with. You're seeing how much of a push and pull it is for both team compositions now at this stage of the game to really execute it properly based on the ultimates they have, plus those battle spells. Once again, with that Lord coming up, again, this isn't the evolved one, so YG shouldn't have a problem potentially even holding on to their base turrets. Maybe they lose one on this, depending on how Pro Esports plays it as they clear these waves out. It's a little troublesome for Pro Esports on approaching this because, again, when this Lord is dealt with quickly in those waves, those powered up waves, you might even just get a tier 2 mid lane off of this. I mean, they're looking for their own window of opportunity, but it's even difficult for Sarion Felix to be the one to jump in or P. And it looks like that's just going to be it. The Lord is cleared out easily.
That's one advantage that YG have, right? Like, when it's outside of the base, Pro definitely have the advantage. They can go from different angles to attack this front to back, to break the formation. But when YG are defending, there's no chance you can break that formation. They're playing under those turrets, right? And that's why with Sanji and Kaize, as long as these two are still alive and those frontliners can just hold in front with the towers, there's no way Pro can actually siege them down. They're gonna have to win it through a team fight.
Yeah. This one, Oily, get a couple hits off. It might be the best thing you can do, you know, just playing around Coily, get a couple hits on the turret, do it on the other side of the map, because they both know they have to just play around Lord. The pick-off potential starts to come down to, can we use a conceal? Can we actually find someone out? But then the teams have been doing such a good job at just gonna be in there for each other, answering the call if some pressure comes through. Good little take on that purple buff though, Coily.
Ruthless on the fan. Use the cutthroat to secure it there. And yeah, it just seems like Han's been losing out on these red tree battles. Nice to on the Fredrin.
Hey man, at least if he can get it for the Lord here, it's going to be 30 seconds
over
quality.
quantity.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and that one will be evolved too. This is a very different game one than what we've seen so far throughout MSC, especially, you know, you're reminded once that Fredrin gets picked up and a lineup's kind of built around it, this kind of utility jungle concept, it's very different, bit of a different pace. Pete?
Just walks out of there, blink. Frozen moment, Felix walks up, that's Sa with a massive Fury of the Phoenix. Toilets for the ankle, big golden hour. How do they utilize this? In the midst of it all, he's getting the slam again from P. He's able to flicker out to safety now as Coily looks for an angle to go with the cables. Just trying to bait those resources from YG. Again, nobody falls. Just a flicker burnt for Kaize and P.
And a flicker for P.
Ying.
Yep. It's all this battle of resources at this point. Coily, as hell of a start that he had in this game, he knows that he can't just throw himself into the arms of YG. And so he's going to continue to push down that bot, it looks like. At least cut that wave through. YG's going to make an attempt on this Lord. It's half felt right now, but Coily will be here in time to face off.
He has no flicker. They know it. They're going to try to burst him down. The taunt lands as well. He's able to survive. Oh my god!
Oh.
The rebound with the Fury of the Phoenix. Good golden hour on the back line, but Coily's able to buy so much time. Sanji caught in the dark wave. Now the blazing duet from Kuzen.
Oh, Sanji.
It's all up to Sanji now. He's going to be confident slam and a pass to win a nature and also the immortality buy. It's an immortality buy for Coily as well. Dark wave lands. Sanji's still there. Ying trying to buy some time. As Blink is in a 1v1 against Coily. It's an all-out fight everywhere in the map. Again, Coily trying to chase Blink down. He's running away. He finally gets cutthroated and assassinated up top.
Oh, I thought that was a nice block, though. I thought it was going to land on Coily, but man, they bought some time, but Pro Esports, they want to go for this tier 2 turret. They want to take this purple buff out.
Wait, they don't go Lord. They reset the Lord.
They reset the Lord. I have to go. Let's look at this replay again. Started things up with the Mystic Gush over here. This fight breaks off into 2 areas. Collapsing down, golden hour used into that Fury of the Phoenix. Meanwhile, also a real cam. It looks like Pro Esports is going to secure themselves that Lord there, but you know, that was a fight that was dissected on through. And that's one of the things that Fanny will do too. You know, you were able to go ahead and split the fights up, focus on the right targets. Golden hour, it just feels weird in some of these instances because it's like, it's clearly there to stop the momentum of a fight, but sometimes it ends up just kind of splitting things off in an odd angle for YG.
So now it's back to the defense of YG. They have a good composition to defend, but Pro have an evolved Lord now. At 22 minutes, it's a different kind of Lord. Wind of Nature for Kuzen. Bootless at this point for both of the gold laners.
Okay, clear out these waves. Lord is up top. It's going to get that charge in. Taking out the base turret. YG has no choice but just to let that go. They're going to have to deal with the Lord, clear it out. Potentially losing some more base turrets. Conceal is going to be used from Pro Esports though.
Double top from Han now with the force play as well. Coily with a jump in the back line, but it's going to be the winner crown again. Flicker route, Blink shredded to pieces, but he gets the golden hour. All base turrets taken out now as Ying buys the immortality in time, keeps himself alive. Han!
Han!
With a big taunt on the Brazier strap, but Kuzen was able to Wind of Nature all of that physical damage.
Okay, YG lost the base turrets, but it's okay. They're still in the game. They've got some more waves to deal with here, and knowing that they're down Blink, looks like Pro Esports still wants to go ahead and potentially end the game here.
Ying again, pops into Consecration, bending the mini waves over to the right side of the map. Sanji clearing it out. Kaize no flicker. He needs to play far back. Pro are still lingering. That's a pounce! The Mystic Projectile landed. The BMI gets Kuzen out, but the Rose Gold was already procced.
So that's all they get. Pro eSports off that Evolved Lord will take down and strip the base of those turrets. Taking the disciplined route, even amidst the lead they have, it's just YG still able to fight up. They're still able to do well. This is where we start to see the item swaps come into play. Winter crowns even being picked up. You've got multiple across the board here for YG. Wind of Nature sitting on Sanji. Sanji has been doing a great job just staying alive because he's so pivotal for them to actually be able to stay in this game. Kaize as well, very happy with his Mystic Gush timings, but he's got to go in a way where we saw in that last fight where he pops a Winter Crown, he Mystic Gush. It's still being used even when he's frozen, but again, it's better for him to go ahead and do that in the base. But this time, now 24 plus minutes in the game, this Lord, I don't know, man. If Pro eSports able to secure it, even with this kind of defensive lineup YG has, I don't think you can defend against that. Coily's still pushing in that bottom wave. He knows it's going to force someone from YG, force Sanji to go clear that out, respond to it.
Holy moly. Even with the guaranteed slow push, Coily decides to shove it straight inside the base. This means Sanji's going to have to deal with it. And he shows up on the map. Kozen utilizing the position to go on to Ying. He hasn't been a crowd. Positive Consecration. That's the Fury of the Phoenix. Baited out already by YG. This could be the angle. They've reset it, and Sanji has cleared out bot.
Yeah, he's cleared out bot. He's handled the waves really well. YG, this is a Lord Dance as ever. Still half health on it. Fury of the Phoenix still on cooldown, so they don't have that right now. And Han's tanky enough to go ahead and sit here, like we've seen so much before, on this Fredrin with an immortality to go ahead and just take up the shots. Blink jumps in.
Golden Hour doesn't land on anybody. Felix is able to evade right now as he lands the Dark Wave, but Coily's gonna go up top. Mystic Gush and a Blink appraises Wrath. Coily in the base. Blink trying desperately to go back into the base to save it. He gets there in time, but Coily has a few minions on it. Now it's gonna be the SOD that lands. Sanji gets Coily down. His first kill of the game, and it's a massive shutdown. Both junglers, though, will be taken out.
A last-ditch effort from Coily to try to make something happen, knowing that the Lord was secured by YG. Really good timing against Sanji. Might have been his first kill, but it was an important kill. Might be the one to potentially win them the game here. They've got a really strong Evolved Lord to march down this mid lane. Now, 45 seconds for Coily to be up. Can Pro eSports delay this further? And without Han,
no.
The same thing. Is Ying going to be the guy to go in and tank this, lead this, or will it be Blink? He's got a golden hour that he can play around with. The game plan here might just be to knock down some base turrets.
Mystic Gush already on Felix. Golden Hour catches 3. No follow-up though. Felix is able to escape. That Fury of the Phoenix from Sa buying them a bit of time. Now can they clear this Lord? Base turret I think will surely fall. Sanji's on it already. But hold a second, after that charge, it doesn't seem like YG have the resources
one hit
to push in forward even more. It's just gonna be the base turret taken by the Evolved Lord. Pro, again, able to defend through the wins they got all the way from the start of the game. Those base turrets on the side lane, nice.
Yeah. So Pro eSports, mind you, again, they were up quite a bit, 7,000-ish gold. Again, at this point, it's more about switching the items, but they did lose that lead that they had. They also lost a base turret off of that. So YG now in a position, now in a seat to actually go ahead and be in a better position to win the next Lord fight. The biggest thing for Yangon Galacticos is literally just dealing with whatever Coily is going to do. He's the only guy that can push the opposite side of the map. And Sanji so far has been the guy that YG has counted on to deal with it.
Oh, dude.
They
This is
flicker down.
very squishy Patrick
Yep.
in the face of Mystic Gush late game.
Yeah, it's definitely hurting. A flicker down is something for YG to play around with. Some big waves down bot that they're going to have to deal with too here, but it's just playing around each other because they just know that if Coily jumps into this backside, even on Kaize, and gets a Winter Crown, that's value. Everything comes down to pop in battle spells or defensive items now that we get this point. You're going to see these potions being picked up now too. 28 minutes, man. This has to be, if not our longest, one of the longest so far for MSC groups. Fighting for this Lord up. It's going to take some time to go ahead and take this one down as both teams get in position. A whole lot of immortalities to play around too. Sanji clearing up that bottom side. Conceal's going to be used. Pete pushing out Han here. And just fighting for this space right now. Pro eSports trying to control this space around the Lord, but it's just too much to hold.
That wave bot is just so annoying for YG. Constantly gonna have to send someone down below. SOD nearly lands. Blink was the one to give him vision for that attempt. And that's where the mechanics come through. 28 minutes.
Yeah.
It's the macro, obviously, but you have to be clutch in these moments. You have to be the one to make the play to win the team that game.
This is like the most macro game we've seen so far. I feel like one of the biggest ones too at this point.
Well, Coily.
Game one, Coily's just gonna go ahead and sit down that bot side, but look who's rotating down. Sanji and Blink. Mr. Gush already used. Lord's gonna go for a bit of a reset there.
Oh, that is a big whiff. Coily stays for a bit too long, gets caught by the Spear of Misery from Sanji.
It had to be also that snapshot, right? I mean, they got him on the wall there too, that spear. That is a huge pickup, and now without Coily for 60 seconds, a whole minute, YG cleared out the waves, and they know they have the space to work with for this Lord. And Mr. Gush.
All in onto P. Fear the Phoenix, P. Immortality down already. Blink now coming in as well. Good taunt and the pierce from Sanji. Ying taking very low. Coozing to look for the play. Flickers in the Blazing Duet and the Wind of Nature as well, but Blink is able to get out of the way of the Blazing Duet. Felix, 3-man Dark Wave, has to flicker out. Big Bong with a missing projectile. Goes in as Immortality, but he's going to go down to Ying. A Big Bong sends Han, or rather Felix low, but now it's Sanji with Wind of Nature. That's an Immortality already down. Assad's going to get flickered down, but he buys Immortality in time. Wind of Nature, everything with the Wind of Crown as well, but it won't be enough. It's a big wipe for YG as they come back in game number 1.
You're not going to get behind, and you might be able to pressure her out so she doesn't get ahead.
Another element to the fortress. Just add a Lord as well, right? This is a clear fortress for Yi Sun-shin. This is a, I don't know, walking battalion? Walking? Not all of them walk even.
It's a strong Vanguard for sure. Last pick coming in from YG.
It's all for Coily now.
Synonymous with Myanmar at this point, and trying to do another historic run. The Matilda. Wow.
So
another unique hero.
A lot of defense coming in from Pro Esports and Yangon Galacticos. They have a lot of ways to approach the fight. I gotta tell you, Brigitte, I do not know how to approach this draft.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna look at this like a fan. This seems like a fun game to watch.
Yes, it does. I think it's just very specific for Yangon. They can go very specific with their targets, but Pro can go a little more heavy on team fights for this game.
Well, I'm the pro analyst. I know exactly what's going to happen. Vexana's going to beat Eudora in mid lane. I can't believe you guys don't know it. My Grandmaster rank games, I already figured that out. Okay, let's send it to two guys who have a better idea of what might take place here. Game 2, trying to tie it up. Nice, Mirko, what's going on?
5 seconds till the enemy.
Hey, we appreciate that raid day. You know, I see you climbing the ranks there, but let's go ahead and jump into this one. It's me and Mirko to bring you the action right now. Again, it's interesting drafts across the board. Another unique pick. Yangon Galacticos, last game paid off with patience because they turned the game over on its head, got the victory. Now, Pro Esports, I like it, man. This is all playing for your Yi Sun-shin. Maybe that's what it's going to take, Mirko, to get him a win because, yes, the YSS hasn't really won anything.
Nope. Been used twice already. P already has to use a Revitalize early as well. At least there's one thing, right? YG technically only have one frontliner. So if Pro want to go front to back, they technically don't need to deal with too many tanks. The thing is, it's a barrage with the help of Matilda, though.
I was gonna say, you know, it's one thing to have one frontliner who can just go anywhere. You know, that's with the help of the Matilda. And even so, if I recall correctly, the Matilda can also do some interesting things with a Nixia pick, man. You know, drop down that full barrage and Sauron through. So I feel like for Yangon Galacticos, the upper hand here, aside from just Sanji. Okay, that was all right. Burn the flicker. One of the upper hands that I was gonna say. Oh, hold on.
Whoa! A Purify out. First blood for Han still, despite the Purify from Felix.
So that's an upper hand, getting the first blood, but it's also just, again, mobility options that they have to play around with this composition. Taking a quick look at the emblems, you can see where they're going with this. Again, the Matilda is going to have a whole bunch of mobility to work with, and this being Flying Cloud also kind of brings everybody back to the team fights really quickly. The Barrett's being the one tanky guy, you can see him. You know, he's got the tenacity, he's got concussive blast, he's on the tank emblems. Ying knows his job for this one.
Koza's going to be able to take that gold crab away from Sanji. Obviously already won that lane earlier, but Sanji can just walk back up in Flying Clouds very easily. That's the thing. Doesn't matter if you really bully your opponents here this early on with the Flying Clouds map. Oh, big chomp by Ying, spits him out as well, gets a stun, and look at the peel from the rest of the team. Felix able to stop that from happening, the pick off on Coily, but he's a bit too low to participate around this turtle fight.
Yeah, I really like that sound effect there, Miko. That was a good one. Now for the turtle, fighting it off. Not sure if they're gonna get in range. Han gets the turtle secured.
Okay, circling Eagle. Oh, not on Sa. He was already a free kill, I'm guessing, for Blink. YG go up 1,000.
Up 1,000 gold because they've got a couple kills in their favor. A turtle, a little bit of extra gold off these gold platings too. So this is all really starting well for Yangon and Galacticos, and I think that's why even our panel was kind of mentioning this with the composition that Pro Esports brought to the table. You know, playing around your YSS, you've got enough bodies, I mean, even an extra one with the Eternal Guard to protect you and give you space. But if you're not able to go ahead and utilize that and let Coily get farmed up here, scale up, it's going to be really difficult for him. I mean, look what Han is doing to Coily's jungle.
Hey, if he can win on a utility jungle in this meta, imagine what he does on a Hirara right now.
I wonder how he feels after going from a Fredrin to a Hirara.
Hey, to be fair, I think Han's just chill with it, man. Like, I don't know how many heroes he has in his pool, you know? Like, we've seen him on a Fanny as well, and then the Fredrin, and now it's going to be the gank onto Kuzen onto the bottom lane. Oh my god, the full barrage as well with the guiding wind. Kuzen's still able to stay alive for a bit, though. Good Eternal Guard on Blink, but he's able to flick around and gets the guiding wind out away from the roots of P.
Able to get away off of that, too. I mean, that's dirty to see, but yeah, makes it work. Again, they said this is going to be a fun composition to see in motion. Well, there it is. You do something like that. Looking at the replay brought to us by STC. Brings it a little bit too far, you know, but still able to cap out a kill onto the turret, and then good flicker usage there to stay alive by Sanji, and then guiding wins on out from Blink.
That's a tilter, bro.
That is.
After losing that close 30-minute game, this is usually what happens, you know, after you lose a close 30-minute game, it might be a quick one in game 2. We saw the Brimmies fans earlier.
Yeah.
Up on stage. I got my sound effects approved, by the way, by the king.
the king yourself.
The young man from the Philippines.
Yo, shout out to the king, man.
Shut up, man.
We'll see you really soon. And now for this second turtle up here. Pro Esports has control of it, but they wait for Coily to get in range here. Little poke back and forth right now. Both teams, Ying playing up that front side. There's the Mount Shocker.
Pulled in the Dino, the Eternal Guard as well. The Bull Barrage comes around. The red tree is good for Coily. Dives onto Han, untargetable for a bit. Able to escape with the help of the Flask of the Oasis. So it ends up being a big win for Pro finally. XP and Turtle.
Yeah, that's something they needed. At least get the objective secured. You don't want to let this scaling happen even further for YG. Up 2,000 gold at this point. That's a Sky Piercer also picked up for Han. They're going to go ahead and just keep Kozen back here. You know, one of the things, too, speaking of this, hold on, circling Eagle.
Oh, stun. Oh, God. Oh, God.
Yeah.
I was going to do the caca, but...
Welcome to the Thunderdome. We need a Thunder effect, man. I don't know how it's going to work. I don't know if Leo's going to approve that one, but
that one's not.
He'll come up with something better. But that is the interaction that you can expect. One of many that Yangon and Galacticos can go ahead and play around. And so for Pro Esports, you know, that's one of the hard things about it is like, what way is YG going to approach our fight? You know, or they more so just kind of have this universal, straightforward approach. We saw it where they're able to go ahead and bully off Yangon and Galacticos off of an objective. But even so, if that ends up being the case, you know, once the Lords come to play, the approach is going to be different.
So Pro are just going to take it slow, but YG scaled pretty well as well with the Ixia, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're just going to have to find out again. A 2,000 gold lead for YG. We've seen massive gold leads turn around in very, very good games, like yesterday, Falcons Meta against IG. They held like an 8,000 gold lead. IG were able to come back through forcing Falcons Meta to make mistakes.
Seems to be the case, you know, whatever team makes these mistakes kind of gets punished on them. The teams so far that have been competing throughout MSC, they all do that really well. Once they see an overstep from the opposing team, they're able to go ahead and punish it. Now this is also just the nature of the compositions you have, you know, with a Eudora. I mean, there's a reason why the Eudora is picked up so much. One of the top picks right now in that hero pool. last turtle, though, again, playing around that stun that you have, the mobility that Matilda brings, YG will wait for their own moment.
Goes in. Oh, the chop missed. You think he's going to be pulled back as well? Oh, great taunt to read the flicker, too. But it won't be a kill. They're just buying time right now for Coily to get his hands on it. But Han walks up. Great CC from the circling eagle of Blink. To steal it away now, Han locking him down for Sanji to get a few shots on that full barrage. PP with a walk-up, a taunt that doesn't land. And it's the combo, but it's a Belleric.
He should be able to get away from this, right? Hold on.
Revitalized taunt. Oh, he picks up the kill with a basic attack through the CC chain.
How many stacks does Han have right now? Can we take a look at that? I mean, I know he picked up the Sky Piercer, was it a couple kills ago? Let's take a look at the replay here. This looks like it would be so good for Pro Esports, but Blink with that Matilda coming through on the circling eagle, and then Han able to swoop on, get that, and then capitalize a kill. You know, this is one of the things you got to watch out for. We've seen it before where Hirara gets like max stacks on the Sky Piercer, and next thing you know, you're gone, you know? And so Pro Esports, even if they want to buckle in a little bit for this, it might be one of those cases where you don't want to wait too long just because of the scaling that's happening here with YG. Now, bringing it further, you can see, okay, couple stacks. So 2 kills off of that when he picked up that Sky Piercer, but it's that threat now, that threat of just kind of almost lining up the kills too easily for YG to capitalize on.
Even then, when they're trying to buy some time for Coily to get his hands on a neutral objective, it's just so difficult because they don't really have CC on on Felix. So all he can do is really just stand up front and hope that YG get intimidated by the aura of a Uranus.
All right now too, look at this pressure.
Ooh, again, no CC from Felix, he can't chain it. So I can drop down as much CC as he wants to.
Yeah.
But as long as it's not going to be followed up by a Mountain Shocker, an I'm Offended, or a Don't Run Wolf King, Han's going to be good, bro.
Yeah, Han's got a lot of space to work with, just by himself, basically.
Han.
Yeah. And Han can do this. Han can do this. As this Lord comes up, they get in position. Again, some of the ultimates were used in the previous fight, but they should be back up for this, depending on how Pro Esports stalls this out.
Whoa.
Oh, Mountain Shocker used.
Oh, good usage.
That was welcome.
1v4. Oh, spins him out, gets on top! Now, I'm offended coming through as well. Response over, goes in and flicker through, but Han's able to pick up the kill. Now he goes back in. Onto Kuzen! A double for Han as he outplays Pro completely.
Oh, man. Sorry, I'm Felix going to survive P as well, but 2 members going down for Pro Esports, and Yangon Galacticos will make their way to secure this Lord. A little circling eagle here to keep Coily back again. There's still an attempt, it looks like, from Pro Esports.
How do they want to play this one? Kuzen is down. Coily doesn't have enough damage. Han gonna go in. Wait a second, Han. Oh, he baits him everybody into the full barrage. PP taking a flicker in from Sanji. And Han with the red tree now as he walks back up again and he picks up the godlike YG up with 5,000 over Pro.
That was such a good bait from Han to go ahead and utilize that. They know they have a full barrage in the hands of Sanji. And so just line up Pro Esports into it. And you know they want the Lord. I mean, look at this replay here. Again, Han popping that winner crown.
What a bait.
And just following through the full barrage and then comes in, help clean up after getting the Lord. That's a whole lot of value for YG off of that fight. And now Lord in the mid lane, they're knocking on this tier 2.
Full barrage. Oh my God! Kuzen just got bleeped out of the game.
Welcome to the Thunderdome, basically. Lord charges in. Oh! Okay, Purify used. There's the shields. They're going to pop in mid and bot. Asanji is still down there right now. Down Kozin for 10 seconds. Pro Esports just has to let these turrets get whittled down here. Han's walking in that wave up top. They're trying to hold on to this one holy defense shield. This is such a problem, man. I mean, even alone, if you go too far forward, if you're Pro Esports, you're going to get stunned. Or you're going to get Circling Eagled, or you're going to get Daytona's Welcome. Like, this is what I'm talking about. There was so many options that YG can play around with, and that's what's gotten themselves almost this 9,000 gold lead.
And it just seems like the Yi Sun Shin might not be it in the meta, bro.
Yeah.
Like, he's done... it's not Coily's fault. It's a pick. He's done nothing in this game, right? Farming up,
Oh, whoa.
Finds him as we were talking about, throws it back to 3. Ying, what a play on the barrage. And now it's Han on Kozen, trying to find the kill. Stun lands, and it's a basic attack that gives Han a double. Now on Felix, can he get it? His hands on the 80 stacks of the Sky Piercer. Han with a triple to send Yangon Galacticos to the knockout stage of MSC at EWC 2026.
What a dominant game two for Yangon Galacticos after an endurance test in game 1.